Hello guys and welcome to the Enlighten Me with Ronny. Today I'm going to do this by myself because, well, I don't have a guest. So I'm just gonna do maybe a half an hour short news thing and yeah, let's jump into it. I'm going to show you something that Tucker Carlson said, which is interesting because I listened to him before I saw this video. I listened to him on the Tulsi Gabbard podcast, and he was saying he's too old to have someone manage him, and he was like, "Fuck you guys, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna say whatever I want." And after that, I saw this video he put out about the CIA and the JFK assassination. I'm intrigued. I like to see where Tucker goes from here. If he really, because he's been outspoken about the vaccine issue and all that stuff. So even though if you are like me, a person that don't love the state or the state media or the biggest companies, you shouldn't listen to Tucker. Well, he has some good points from time to time, and I like it when it's comes out in the mainstream media. So let's see what he has to say about the assassination. I'm gonna go over to share and let's see what this man has to say.
As to these still hidden CIA documents, a person who was deeply familiar with what they contain. We asked this person directly, did the CIA have a hand in the murder of John F. Kennedy, an American president? And here's the reply we received verbatim, quote, the answer is yes. I believe they were involved. It's a whole different country from what we thought it was. It's all fake. It's hard to imagine a more jarring response than that. Again, this is not a, quote, conspiracy theorist that we spoke to. Not even close. This is someone with direct knowledge of the information that once again is being withheld from the American public. And the answer we received was unequivocal. Yes, the CIA was involved in the assassination of the president. Now, some people will not be surprised to hear that. They suspected it all along. But no matter how you feel about or what you thought about the Kennedy assassination, pause to consider what this means. It means that within the U.S. government, there are forces wholly beyond democratic control. These forces are more powerful than the elected officials that supposedly oversee them. These forces can affect election outcomes. They can even hide their complicity in the murder of an American president. In other words, they can do pretty much anything they want. They constitute a government within a government, mocking by their very existence the idea of democracy. As cynical as we have become after 30 years of watching government officials ignore the voters who employ them, we were shocked to learn this. It's not acceptable. Americans have trusted their government less with every passing year since the killing of John F. Kennedy. Maybe this is why. And people have known this for a long time. The people who knew would include every director of the CIA since November of 1963. And that list would include Obama's CIA director, John Brennan, one of the most sinister and dishonest figures in American life. That list would also include, we are sad to say, our friend Mike Pompeo.
Yeah, my friend Mike Pompeo, like he's a good guy. Anyways, I find it interesting because this is what the right wing people in USA is seeing. And Tucker is the biggest. Well, he's the biggest TV personality out there in the world, I guess. So that he comes out and says the CIA was involved in the JFK assassination as like a definite thing is interesting, if nothing else. So I like that. See how this, yeah. And that's is like how are we gonna? How is people going to react to that? I'm intrigued by that because yes, if you look behind me, you see my conspiracy billboard or whatever you want to call it. I mean, everyone that has been looking into anything knows about these things. But yeah, I still find it funny. And the funniest news of this week has to be the Orange Man. He came out and said, I have a big announcement. Some people was like, maybe he's gonna announce who is going to be the vice president in his candidacy for the president in 2024 or something. He's like maybe gonna put his money behind some new chairman for the Republican Party or something like that. But well, the thing he came out with was the NFTs, and he sold out them in just one day. And I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of Trump. I like the comedian version, and that's the only thing I think about Trump. He's full of shit. He's still pushing the vaccine because that's the best thing he has done for humanity, I suppose, in his mind. Well, let's see what he actually offers people, because I find it. I mean, some of the prices I would even pay for. Like he has, if you buy this Trump Texas cup, I guess. If you buy that, you get a dinner with him. I mean, you would have a time to ask some interesting questions. Whatever you think about Trump, I would like to talk to that guy. I feel like you would get more answers than you think if you actually sat down with him. And he has the gold bar Trump here. You also get a unforgettable private meeting. So you don't get food, but you, I guess, get to meet him. And yeah, the first 4 is a meeting. I was actually, before I actually read them, I was like, I would like to take the golf one because that's like a few hours, but it says 1 hour, so I guess you just play a few holes. I was like, if you play 18 holes, that's half a day. You have so much time to ask questions, but okay, it's just 1 hour. You play a few holes, then you, I guess, get. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm out." And he has some Zoom shit and stuff like that. But I don't know. I saw the right wing or the center to right, and also the right people. When I say the right people, I mean the right, not the extreme right, like Daily Mail, or then we have the center right Tim Pool people. They wasn't too fond of this idea. But yeah, I think he did good. He sold out in one day, and some people is going. Hopefully, he keeps his bargain, and they get to meet him and ask some questions. And I guess he's gonna do some PR videos from that. I would guess. Doesn't really. If I would do this, if I was Trump, I would have a documentary team around me while I'm doing this, and whatever the Trump lovers are asking, I will make a video about it. Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's Trump. He's doing NFTs like it's 2020 and they're still worth something. But yeah, and just jumping into sports for a second here, because before we go into Finnish politics, I wanna show this one. It was not a goal, but it was a very, very creative thing to do. And it's going to be a Finnish player. They're playing the European Hockey Tour at the moment. They're doing 4 European Hockey Tours before the what's it called? World, World Cup or whatever it. Världsmästerskap, world. Yeah, whatever. We have a Finnish player they are doing penalty shots, and this was one of the most creative things I've seen in hockey in a long time. Unfortunately, he didn't hit the net, but so still decent try. So let's see what he comes up with. And it's going to be in Swedish, the commentary. So if you don't understand Swedish, I guess they're just saying, holy shit, what happened? And they're still going to say, like, let's look at this again. Have you seen this? And they're saying no. And it was like a good try. So yeah, let's see what it comes up.
Hartikainen, van och skicklig. En målskytt, poängmakare. Vilket försök han gör! Det där har du inte sett många gånger, Micke.
Herregud.
Har du någon gång sett något liknande?
Aldrig någonsin.
Vad är det här han bjuder på?
Han lägger upp den.
Oj! Hartikainen, van och skicklig.
It's too bad he missed. I mean, that's some crazy
En
shit.
målskytt, poäng.
If you would, I don't know. I know the rules in NHL is you can't pull your puck backwards, but apparently in the European Hockey Tour you can do. Would like to see it go in and see if it actually counts, because the NHL because of the spinorama moves, they outlawed this kind of things. You can't pull the puck backwards. So puck, not puck. Puck is Swedish. Puck is English. Yeah, that was one of the craziest shit I've seen in a while from someone going to try to do a penalty shot. Like, creativity comes out. So that's just a fun thing. And let's go into the thing that's getting us banned from the internet. You can't talk about Pfizer, because if you talk about Pfizer, people don't love you much. Well, it's okay on Twitter at the moment, but it's not here, but we're still gonna do it. Let's see what happens. This is a video from the High Wire, and if you don't know who the High Wire is, well, get familiar with those guys. They're very on point on everything vaccines, and they've been doing a great job. And the host is an old TV host. He was doing the doctors and stuff like that, if anyone remembers that show. And here they're gonna talk about the trial that Pfizer made and the people behind it, and if they are paid by Pfizer or no. And well, if you have 2 eyes and 2 ears, you already know the answer, but let's see.
Sitting on the data safety monitoring board for the Pfizer clinical trial.
I think this video pretty much
Yep.
speaks for itself.
Okay.
Let's take a look at this.
Yeah.
And isn't it true that you've also been an advisor to Pfizer?
Yes, sir. I have been an advisor to Pfizer, and I've been working very, very closely with Pfizer, particularly their COVID vaccines, and going over lots of reactions and adverse events. So yes, I am working and being paid by Pfizer for my assessment of vaccine safety.
You're part of the data safety monitoring board for the
That's
Pfizer
correct.
COVID vaccine. Is that what you meant when you
That
said
is
that?
correct.
You're one of the only 5 members of that data safety monitoring board over the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
And that's supposed to be an independent data safety monitoring board, correct?
It is an independent data safety and monitoring board.
That's the board that all of us in America are hoping on and relying upon is going to independently make sure that safety is properly assessed as the clinical trial for that Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is ongoing, correct?
That's true, and let me tell you that we have worked very hard to go over this and worked very, very hard to do that indeed as comprehensively as we possibly can.
And since it's supposed to be independent, it's critical that the members of that independent data safety monitoring board are in fact independent of the pharmaceutical company whose product is being evaluated, correct?
That's correct.
But isn't it true that directly before becoming a member of the independent Data Safety Monitoring Board of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. You were an advisor to Pfizer?
Pfizer pays me to evaluate the safety of their vaccines because I'm an expert. So I do get paid to do the work that I've been doing, but I've been doing the work conscientiously and comprehensively.
My question was, before you became a member of the independent Data Safety Monitoring Board for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, isn't it true that you were separately, before you held that independent position, you were an advisor to Pfizer?
Yes, sir, but I think what you're presuming is that because I've been an advisor makes me on their dole or makes me going to say what they want me to say. That is not and has never been a part of my being. I say what I believe based on my expertise.
So you don't think that financial incentives can sway people's judgment at all?
It does not sway my judgment, sir.
Why bother having an independent Data Safety Monitoring Board? Why doesn't Pfizer just have some of its employees on it?
Because we are independent.
Meaning folks who were never advisors to Pfizer.
We are independent from Pfizer in this assessment.
I find this this always happens. How they somehow manage to bring in people, from the companies, because she admitted she was paid from Pfizer before she even went into this committee that's supposedly looking at the vaccines, and she's like, "Yeah, I was paid before, but you're accusing me from taking money from a company and actually believing that I would not be able to say something against them." And we all know how that works. If you ask your friend, are you going to say some shit about the company you're working for? And we all know 99.99% is going to say no. As far as I know, I'm the only one that I know that actually said fuck you and got fired in 2020, late 2020, because most of the people they think that they somehow, or the company owe them something, or you owe the company because they hired you. And I guess that if you look at it, well, you have some allegiance to the company, you shouldn't just go and sell them out, but still, you're just hired. If you see shit that doesn't go with your morals, you should say something. And I'm pretty sure that woman, because if Pfizer is doing what she said, like she is supposedly being the woman that one of the 5 that's giving out the press releases how the so-called vaccine is doing, they have been doing a very bad job. Good for Pfizer, but bad for everyone else. So I'm guessing she is lying here. I don't see how she doesn't know the trials hasn't gone as good as they may have hoped for. Or if you are, as me, conspiratorial, this is what they actually tried to do. Depopulate some people. And they went for the older ones before. And that brings me to a video I have seen before, but courtesy to Kim.com, he resurfaced this video, and it's a 4.5 minute long video. And if you would ask me what I believe is going on, this is what I believe. This video is going to basically spell out exactly what my beliefs are, and yeah, nothing more or less. So let's see what they have to say. It's from this old series, The X-Files. The audio is fine if you're watching. The video is not that great. So let's see what they have to say. Share this and let's go.
Making claims.
Claims about what?
You and everyone you know has a piece of DNA in your genome. put there without your knowing it.
Put there by whom?
Well, that's the question of the day.
This is an internet lunatic. You're not saying you believe him.
Hold on, Agent Einstein. You're talking to a scientist.
Forgive me, Assistant Director. It may sound insensitive, but the suggestion is pure science fiction.
What I'm saying, Agent Einstein, is that the facts, as I understand them, cannot be discounted out of hand.
No one has the right or the ability to tamper with your DNA.
Unless we gave them that ability.
You say they're tampering with our DNA, that they're able to shut down our immune systems by the addition of something to our DNA.
Yes, but I don't know how exactly.
Or how it's being triggered.
I don't know that either.
Or why it's happening now. What can we possibly do?
We need to act quickly.
You were right about that.
Well, I was wrong about the science. I was wrong about what's causing it. Dead wrong, in fact.
But it's clearly a widespread failure of our immune systems.
Through gene tampering. A virus within a virus that was put there through the smallpox vaccine. It's what these men are calling the Spartan virus.
We have to figure this out. What's wrong with the science?
Okay. The Spartan virus removes the adenosine deaminase gene from your DNA. Remove the ADA gene and your immune system will simply vanish.
Yeah, but I'm not getting sick.
It's only a matter of time.
Okay. So how does it work? How does the virus remove the ADA gene?
A process called CRISPR-Cas.
CRISPR-Cas9. RNA and a protein cutting genes at exact locations.
Exactly. But in this instance, used as a weapon.
The ultimate weapon. The ability to depopulate the planet. To kill everyone but the chosen.
By tampering with their DNA.
Through gene editing.
Why do such a thing and lie about it? Our own government.
Your own government lies as a matter of course, as a matter of policy. The Tuskegee experiments on black men in the 30s, Henrietta Lacks.
What are they trying to do?
That's the missing piece.
But it's not hard to imagine a government hiding, hoarding technology for 70 years at the expense of human life and the future of the planet. Driven not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective.
The takeover of America.
And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves. In a state of perpetual war. To create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home. With tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose. The corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism.
And I encourage you all to go shopping more.
A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed multinational group of elites that will cull, kill, and subjugate.
Happening as we sit here.
It's happening all around us.
The other shoe waiting to drop.
It'll probably start on a Friday. The banks will announce a security action necessitating their computers to go offline all weekend.
Digital money will disappear.
They can just steal your money?
Followed by the detonation of strategic electromagnetic pulse bombs to knock out major grids.
What will seem like an attack on America by terrorists or Russia.
An invasion of the U.S.
The Russians tried it in '47.
Now when I saw this clip, I was reminded, should I brought it up? It's probably not to take too much time to search for it again. But we have the clip from it's the European Central Bank, I think. It's a fat guy, and he is talking about they need the CBDC because the countries that are not wealthy are using cash. Cash is not used in the Western countries in that big of a scale, so they don't really give a fuck about us. But he's basically saying that people in Africa and other continents like South America and in yeah, I guess South Asia also, or Asia overall, they're using cash and he can't track it. So he needs something to he needs money that he can track every dollar, and that's the central bank digital currency. And I should look that video because that fat guy, I know I have it somewhere on my profile. Like, fuck that fat guy. I'm pretty sure I've said it a few times. And yeah, actually, I find it a bit curious how everything is happening and nobody is actually asking questions. Let's see if I find this fat guy. I'm pretty sure I have retweeted him in the past. Maybe I didn't. Here I have some guy talking about the carbon tax. Yeah, by the way, the EU actually is trying to make a law now. I should also. It's a lot of things I should have up. They're trying to make a the carbon tax, a law in EU for everyone. So that's a thing that's coming. And of course, people think that's conspiracy, even though EU is making laws now at the moment. But yeah, that's the way things works. It's conspiracy until it's not. That's why I'm like, I feel like I'm less of a conspiracy theorist nowadays. I'm just a news analyst. Like, if you read the news, they actually tell you things. Doesn't mean you shouldn't read, like, if you are here in Finland as I am, you shouldn't read like Yle and actually think you're getting the news. The same as if you're in, let's take America for example, because you're the second biggest country that listen to my podcast. You listen to MSNBC or Fox and CNN or whatever you guys are listening to. It's basically bullshit, everything. Guess I didn't retweet the fat guy. Because I'm back like to, I don't retweet much, so this is a year ago stuff. And I don't see him still. Okay, let's see. Let's scroll for a second more here. See if we can find it. If not, I have one thing more I want to talk about, because the Finnish government is fighting, and the conclusion that they came to is basically fuck the farmers. And the funny thing is, the people that are fighting are both World Economic Forum young global leaders. So one would think that maybe they actually talked about it, or just doing it because they know. I actually don't think Annika and Sanna is talking to each other, because they're young global leaders. They have been briefed about what's the goal in the coming 10 years. And yeah, that's basically, they don't need to talk to each other because they've gone to the same school, and the school is fuck everyone and kill everyone. And on that note, I have a I have a video here that we actually need to listen to, because people actually don't think people are saying the stuff I'm saying. So let's see. The World Economic Forum panel. Let's see what this woman has to say.
Cannot hide away from human population growth, because it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago. We cannot hide away from human population growth.
Oh, that was shorter than I remember, but the population of the Earth 500 years ago. Should we Google that? Population on Earth 500 years ago. Let's see. I hate internet nowadays. How is it hard to just find a number? Let's see if Google is actually better on some stuff. So let's see. Yeah, 100 million people. That's not a lot of people. 100 million. As they're saying now, we are 8 billion. That's a lot of people that needs to die. And that's, yeah, who is going to choose who dies and who lives? That's the question. Because I'm guessing, as we all know, Bill Gates is also he's also talking about killing people, or at least trying to make sure we don't grow. So who are we going to make, and what, like, how are you going to kill people? That's the question. And I guess the elites have some answers. The thing they are going to do now is they're going to do carbon tax and stuff like that, and make the Western world go down to the Bronze Ages or something like that. And as we all know, the elites are still going to fly. You are not going to fly. You're not going to leave anything. You're not going to own anything. That's the goal they have, and it's stated in their 8 goals for 2030. So, I mean, why listen to me when we can listen to them? That's easy. World Economic Forum 2030 predictions. I could read this page, but let's just listen to the video. It's not me, and I don't see everything they're saying is not bad, but they have a few things that are bad. So let's see what they have to say. I know everyone listening to this podcast most likely know this. Let's see it. Anyways, can we get full screen? I guess not. Maybe I should read this for the podcast people. I'm sorry. Let's see. 8 predictions for the world in 2030. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Whenever you want, you will rent and will be delivered by drone. 2. The US will be the world leading superpower, and a handful of countries will dominate. You won't die waiting for an organ donor, that's a good thing. You won't transplant organs, we will print new ones instead. I like that actually. You'll eat much less meat, I fuck that. An occasion street, not a staple for the good and environment. Yeah, let's pause. You're not gonna eat meat because the environment. I mean, cow farts. That's basically what they said. And they're going to, on the next one, 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. Well, that goes back to the video I showed before on HARP and DARP. That's, I guess, HARP. And if you don't know what HARP does and what that does to climate, and you should go into geoengineering and check out that. And if you don't know anything about that, well, you have some work to do. And we have to do a better job welcoming and integrating refugees. And that I actually agree with. That's an issue we basically see in every European country, because we have had left-wing governments and we have brought in a very much people, and very many, I guess, not very much, very many people. And the problem is I don't actually mind getting people from every facet of the world or whatever. The problem is when we bring them in, we put them in one place and they actually never learn to speak the language of the country they are living in, and they also make clans, or what you want to call it, because they are, imagine going the other way around. If we Finns because I'm Finn, went to some country in Africa. And let's say 10,000 of us came to Nigeria and we settled in Nigeria. The thing to do is obviously to find as many Finns as you can at the same place. And the government is also shuffling us in the same place. So we would make Finland in Nigeria, because the easiest thing for us to do is to not integrate with the country, just to make our own society and our own rules. And that's always an issue. So I agree with better integrations, but that also means at least Finland is doing decent job, Sweden is failing as fuck, Germany is failing as fuck, I know Britain is failing as fuck, and also Spain and Italy, because they're taking in so much. So yeah, that's not the... I mean, I don't dislike the people coming in. I know why they're coming in, because we are killing them, taking their resources, bombing them. So it's not like I don't understand them. I would probably do the same if I was living in the Middle East or in Africa, and the Europe/China and USA is killing us. The weird thing is, well, maybe they don't know who is doing it. Like, they're fleeing to the country that actually doing the things they're fleeing from. Like, that's a weird thing, but yeah. Of course, that's how the world works. And yeah, the next thing here is the polluters will have to pay carbon tax. And I should search up that thing too, because the EU is actually going to make a new law about that now. That not only the companies need to pay the carbon tax, it's actually going to the people. And if you ever listen to conspiracy podcast, you know actually what that means. They're doing carbon tax and a carbon market. We are talking about that in the document in the EU. And I think the market is the most important thing for the elites. They don't really give a fuck about the carbon, because the carbon don't do shit. Like in the climate change way. But the carbon market is something that they all know own at the moment, and that's gonna be a cash cow for many years to come if we don't say anything. And I'm not guessing anyone is going to say anything. Or no, but I'm saying shit, but the majority of the people is not gonna say shit, because they're gonna be trying to survive this coming disaster with the inflation. So let's see. The last few things they're saying. Global price on carbon. This will help more fossil fuels history, and they're preparing to go to Mars. Scientists will have to work out how to keep healthy in space and start the journey to find. And it's going a bit too fast for me to read in English. But Western values will have been put to a testing point. Checks and balance that underpin our democracy must not be forgotten. Well, I like that. Don't forget how. Well, that's a different issue. I think we're 3 countries that are independent, so democracy I don't get. I mean, I can vote for people in Finland. They have no power though when it comes to European Union, so whatever. And now to the last thing I wanted to talk about is some Finnish news. Oh, why did I jump this? Or did I? No, I don't think I did. So we had an issue here in Finland where our political people was talking about we need to change our forests. We need more diversity, I guess, because if you have too much of the same trees in a forest, it's not a good thing. And supposedly our forest people don't know shit about this, so it's bullshit. But anyways, that was a fight, and the fight was between Sanna Marin. She's a young global leader she's a prime minister from the Social Democrat Party. And we have Annika Saarikko, who is the Minister of Finance from the Center Party. And I like how they was always agreeing. But when it came to a topic that the World Economic Forum has as goals, is less meat, they apparently started fighting for no reason. They've been always together and always been great and no issues. But when they can fuck over the farmers, they actually started fighting. So that's interesting, because I don't believe in coincidences in that way, that these two women is actually not, I don't think they're talking to each other about it, they're actually just doing it. So yeah, if I talked about this already, I'm sorry. I feel like I did. So yeah, but you have some extra, background, I guess, when you look at this World Economic Forum video where they say you won't eat meat because you need 3D printed meat, and that's coming from that's Bill Gates, and that's another story. But yeah, I think that's it. And also, before I leave, it's been fun to see the people coming in from the Union of the Unwanted, or yeah, I guess also the false reality check was a nice bump. So guys, I'm gonna try doing this more often. It's on me to get guests, but yeah, if you wanna get in touch and talk to me, just find me anywhere on social medias. Search for Enlighten Me with Ronny, or my Twitter is, I think it's just Enlighten Me. Let's see. Enlighten Ronny is the Twitter. Go in there, send me a message, and to all the regular people, if you wanna do a podcast with me, send me a message. Let's talk. Let's do a podcast. Let's hear from whoever in the world. What's your thoughts? What's happening? If we are going to stop this, we need to start talking to each other. So don't be afraid to send a message. Twitter, most often on, so that Enlighten Ronny. Hope to hear from you guys. Have a great day. See ya.